What's up, everybody? It's Jamie from Sharon at Sea, and
Sharon from Sharon at Sea.
And today we are here to answer some questions that were posted online from some newer cruisers, maybe some first-time cruisers, or just some general, questions that were thrown out there. So we jotted down a list of them. We're going to throw some people's names out there, go over their questions, see if we can answer them, and help you guys out a little bit. Sharon, what do we got going on?
Kind of a part two to our last video where we took the questions people had in the comment section, and so we're just going to kind of answer them a little more in depth. So here we go. First question was from Joy Forshee.
Hi, Joy.
She said, did I mess up by booking directly with Carnival? Well, it's what she's referring to as we had talked in the video about the difference between booking through a travel agent and like a personal vacation planner at the cruise line. And she booked directly through Carnival, and we had talked about the differences between the two. And basically, no, you did not make a mistake, Joy. Either is fine. There's just the only real difference is if you have a travel agent, they kind of see you through the whole process from start to finish. Especially if you're a new cruiser, it's kind of nice because you get that personalized touch, I guess, from start to finish if you have questions at any time.
What about perks? Sometimes you can get a perk through a travel planner or travel agent, maybe a little onboard credit or something like that.
That the cruise line, the thing is, the cruise lines, the personal vacation planners, their hands are kind of tied. They can only do whatever the promotion going on with the cruise line can do. That's all they can do. They don't give up any of their profits or anything like that to you, whereas a travel agent can choose to give gift cards or little perks and things like that, which is actually coming out of their own profits. But they do that as just, it helps the business.
And the folks at Carnival take days off. So you might have a big question, something important comes up, and you try to contact them and you can't reach them. You leave a message, wait a day or two to get a call back. And
that is true with travel agents as well. Some of them have just strictly like 9 to 5 hours, Monday through Friday. So the whole point, I guess I'm going to say, is do your research. A travel agent will give you a few more perks and things. That is a good way to go, but you have to find a good one. You have to find one that's available all the time for you, and that's kind of some questions you might want to ask them if you contact one is, are you available? Will you give out your personal cell number so I can text you if I need something? Or think of a question at any time, and things like that, because a lot of them won't, but there are some that do. Some are, like for me, example, I give my personal cell number out to any client, and they can text me anytime with a question. I'm always there for them up until cruise day. I will send them a message to make sure they're on that ship. When they get home, I check on them. I mean, I'm there all the way. So, if there's price drops, I'll grab those for them. So basically, it's all in. Whoever you use, just do your research and make sure they're.
Make sure you're comfortable with them. And once you're comfortable with somebody, then you can stay with them going forward and get a good relationship going.
Right. So that's it. But either way, you don't mess up either way. It's just you may get a little more personalized and some perks with the travel agent.
All right.
So
what's next?
Question is from David Kramer. Going on Carnival Vista in October, any tips? Well, I think I posted a couple of tips under the comments, but
well, we posted a couple hours of tips with those Vista vlog videos too.
We did.
So if you haven't checked those out, David, check those out. That could answer a lot of your questions. And I don't know if you've cruised Carnival before, then you may see you'll notice a lot of differences with Vista, and if you haven't, then you'll probably just be blown away at how massive that ship is and all the things it has to offer.
Yeah, and I think if you haven't cruised Carnival before, I think you may almost enjoy it more than if you have, which is kind of a weird thing to say, because if you've cruised them several times before, you're kind of used to the look, the layout, the big glass elevators they have, and just kind of that look. And so that's one thing we were really surprised about when we got on, is it was so different that at first we weren't really sure if we liked it or didn't like it.
Yeah,
it's
been pretty modern, very modernized, and we had to get used to a couple things, how the main show lounge is set up, and some of the clubs are a little bit smaller, but they have a lot more things there.
Right.
And one tip that I'll throw out there for you, David, right out of the gate, is something I do a lot on a new ship, is that first morning when you wake up, providing you're not too groggy from the sail away party the night before. But get up early, grab a little deck plan map or something like that, and just go walk the ship and really look in all the nooks and crannies and find all the different things. And that way you'll know, you can make a little list of what you want to do, where you want to go back when things are hopping.
Yeah, that's the best time to do your ship
bar,
tours.
a
Early
coffee
first
bar, a
morning.
lounge, anything like that. That way you know where you want to be when the action starts happening.
Yeah. But as far as tips, well, there's a tip for you.
That was a great tip. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Try the little cars that ride up high, the sky ride.
Oh, the sky, yes.
That's really fun. Our son did it, and I did it with him, and I was kind of scared.
And they have like
but it was fun.
the sports square up there is pretty neat. They got
And
a mini bowling alley,
they
like two
do.
bowling alleys,
It's
and
more
there's
for kids, though. It's not adult bowling. It's definitely kid bowling, and that
there's
does
like
cost $3.
billiards. There's like a
game.
billiards soccer thing
Yeah.
going on up there.
Yeah,
It's
there's a
pretty
few
neat.
different things than the other ships, even than the other newer ships. The IMAX theater. There's also the Thrill Theater, and that's always really fun. It's kind of like you're sitting there and you watch it in 3D.
And when the IMAX, get your tickets early, or I guess it's not really a reservation, but get tickets early
They do
because
sell
that
out.
fills up pretty quickly. It's
It
not
does.
huge, so make sure you take advantage of that.
And
And make sure to check out all the entertainment. We ran into some like at a glance, we were like, yeah, they're good. And then as we sat and listened to a couple guys on guitar and the Allure Strings,
There are
which is a trio of gals who were playing violins, and they're playing their violins to like rock music songs. I mean, like Metallica, Guns N' Roses, popular songs. And they're jamming out to it in a classical type of way. It was pretty awesome.
Great. Yeah, we just ran across them. They played in the atrium a lot, and we found ourselves sitting there several nights for a while just listening to them. They were great. They were like better than some of the shows and things. Just watching them. So.
And if you're big on the casino, you might find it a little crowded, but you can still find a way to lose all the money you want in there during the course of that week. So don't worry about that.
And also there are a couple newer shows on there that are only on a couple ships. There's the show Flicks in the theater. It will fill up quickly. People will line up out the door probably 45 minutes before it starts. So you might want to get in a line just so you get a decent seat up a little bit up closer. It's a really unique, different show, and I enjoyed it. It was great. And then there's another, is it Epic Rock?
I think so, yeah.
American Rock. I think Epic Rock.
Something
Anyways,
they're a rocket.
Yeah, and it was a really good show too. That one was really good too. And then the others were, I think, some of the usual ones they do, but those were two of the newer ones, and they were both really good. Let's see, what else do they have on there? Those are pretty much the new things. The ship is it's really big, and it's laid out completely different than the other ships. And like Jamie said, there's a lot of kind of nooks and crannies where things are. Things aren't just kind of straight. There's, you turn down here and there's a couple things here, a library or a little bar or this or that. So yeah, you really need to just kind of walk the ship and check it out because there's just a lot.
And in the back of the ship, they have the Havana rooms, and there's like a Havana bar, and there's a pool area that's a certain time of the day. Only the people with cabins back there are allowed to get there.
After 7 at night, anyone
But
can
in the
kind of go
evening,
back there and
anybody
check
can
out
go
the
back there.
pool area. So you can kind of go back there and check it out at that time just to kind of, if you want to take some pictures or just kind of see what it's like.
Yeah, well, if you want to get in a hot tub that's not too busy, not a lot of people know about that, and so you can sneak back there and check it out.
And you
So,
can actually
look
walk
into that.
around too and see the backside get in to see the backside of those cabana. Havana cabanas, the little balconies that go out, with the hammocks that you might see in the pictures. So you can kind of get back there and walk down and see that.
So there you go. So there's a few tips for the Vista, but let us know how you made out. It's coming up in October here. Once you're back, share some of your photos and your experience with us. We always appreciate that.
Yeah, it was a great ship. It's new, it's a great ship, and there are a few little bugs, but I think they're kind of working through them, and like any new ship. So, but it's great. It's just a whole different layout.
All right, who's next?
Okay.
Hold on,
So we have
Gary Bellotti. Gary Bellotti.
And his question is, do you take your actual passport with you when you get off the ship in ports, or do you take a copy of it? I am confused as I have heard others say they take a copy of their passports and leave their actual passports in the safe on the ship. Well, that's a question that I think a lot of people have different ideas, and different people do different things. Personally, I only take my passport off the ship if we are going to a port where we may need it to fly home, or we may need it for, to get back on the ship. Like, for instance, recently we were in Canada, so I took it off the ship. You needed it there. If you go to any European countries, you're definitely going to need to take it off with you. And at that point, I would take the real passport, the actual passport, not a copy. Now, just going to the Caribbean, to Mexico, some of those islands, you don't need to take it off the ship with you. You don't need it to get back on the ship. All you need really is your sail and sign card and your driver's license. So if you're worried about it, you can take a copy of it off the ship with you. We normally don't. I've thought about it, but we don't. I do have one thing I've done is I took a picture of our passports and I've emailed it to myself. So I have it on my phone in my email. So if worst came to worst, I can pull my phone up and check my email and grab it that way instead of actually carrying it off. Because one thing with a passport is that's something you don't want to take it off unless it's a port where you absolutely have to. Because if it gets stolen or lost, people can steal your identity.
They can do that in a lot of places.
I know, but
the whole passport thing is it's a pretty hot topic. In most cases, especially if you're doing Caribbean, Mexico, closed loop cruises where you start in the U.S., go somewhere, and then come back to the U.S., your driver's license will be good. But the passport is one of those things. It's kind of like travel insurance, where it's not really a big deal until you need it. God forbid there's an issue, an accident, you get left behind, you get injured, and then you need that passport to go back and forth. So like Sharon said, have a picture of it on your phone.
Yeah.
Make a picture of it and bring it with you.
I like the idea on my phone better than carrying a copy, only because I have my phone on me all the time, and it's not. A copy, someone could come by and they could grab it or whatever out of your bag. You have your phone usually somewhere secure. Most people do, where it's not going to get taken. So I just feel a little safer having it on my phone like that. But it's really a personal choice.
And the reality of it is, if you leave it on the ship and you have a problem when you get off the ship, you can contact the people on the ship, and you could probably get somebody to go into your cabin and access it and email it, fax it, or bring it off the ship, or whatever the case is. So,
the cruise lines are really good about doing that. Even in the past, where people have gotten stuck in ports for whatever reason, the cruise line does, even though they say they don't necessarily, because they don't want people doing it all the time, I think, but they do get involved and kind of help you get back home. But like I said, just keep your passport secure. You don't want to steal it.
Leave it on the ship. Bring a copy. Bring a picture of it on your phone, and that ought to cover you all the way around.
Okay.
All right, good stuff. There's passports for you.
Next, we have Elizabeth Breen.
What's up, Elizabeth?
Her question is, I'm going on the Liberty in September. Have you been on this ship? I'm also trying to get a hotel and take a shuttle to Canaveral, she probably means Port Canaveral, and leave my car there. Okay. Yes, we have been on the Liberty. It's been several years, but we've been on it. It's a great little ship. It's one of the Conquest class ships.
You'll like it.
I do like those ships. It's been
Does it have an upgrade?
It has the upgrades. It has the 2.0 upgrade, so it has the Geisbergers and the
Blue Iguana
Cantina
Tequila.
and the bars, and it has all those.
Then you're good to go on there, Elizabeth.
It doesn't have the updated water slide yet. It still has the older blue slide, but it has all the other updates. And it's a great ship.
Yeah, it's awesome. You'll love it. It's big enough. It has a lot of stuff, but it's not so big that you'll feel like it's
not the
packed,
smallest ship.
overcrowded.
It's not the biggest. It's like kind of a mid-range size ship.
Yeah, that's my kind of ship.
And also, the second part to your question about Port Canaveral. There are a couple hotels there. One of my favorites to stay at, we've stayed at a couple times, is Country Inn and Suites. It's really just down the street from the port. It's on Astronaut Boulevard there. It's very reasonably priced. It's a great hotel. It was clean.
Good, clean, convenient.
And they have a park and cruise option there. Also, there's one that's just next door to it, the Radisson Resort, and they have a park and cruise as well. And I haven't stayed there, but I've been by it, and they actually have a really nice pool area with a really cool rock water slide thing and everything. But and I've heard it's a nice hotel. I don't think they have breakfast though in the morning, but there are little places around.
And in Port Canaveral, there are parking garages at the port. You can definitely park there. I don't know what the pricing is. We can do a little Google search and probably find that out. So, park at the hotel. Leave your vehicle at the hotel. Get it afterwards. You can get a taxi to get right to the port.
These places have the shuttle that will pick you up and take you back to get your car. So that's nice. Both of these places, and both of these are really nice places close to the port. Another place, I think some of the Holiday Inns have the park and cruise. I'm not sure, probably some of the ones that are close to the port, so that you can just kind of check those. Yeah. And also, La Quinta Inn, the one closest to the port, has a park and cruise option as well.
Yeah, there's a whole strip down there with a lot of stuff going on and plenty of hotels and activities and restaurants.
That'll help you. That's actually our favorite port to go out of. Once we went out of it a little over a year ago.
Oh, I wish I remember the name of that pizza place we told them to go to. Remember that Italian place we went to? Do we have that on video somewhere?
Somewhere. We'll have to find it and leave
one
it
of
in
our
comments.
videos, that was when we went, what was the last ship we went on out of Port Canaveral? Was that the Magic?
The Magic.
Alright. If you find anything from us on the Magic, there was a pizza place that was amazing. That was right on the strip, and we'll try to get next video we put out. We'll throw that name out there.
Yeah, I'll put it in the
Sorry to tease you with that.
Comments below. Okay, so that's it there. Next we have a few questions from Joy Bernhardt.
Joy.
And her first question is, let's see. What drinks can you bring on board Carnival? Okay, well, any adult can bring a 750 milliliter bottle of wine or champagne, just one, and you can bring up to a 12-pack of any kind of soda per person on. They don't allow you to bring water on anymore unless you can find water in a can. They don't allow the clear bottles anymore because I guess that's probably where they found a lot of people
Too many people sneaking booze on there.
So everything has to be in a can or like the cardboard, I think, type containers.
Keep in mind when you bring that wine or champagne, keep it in your carry-on. I don't know, lately half the time they'll ask you to take it out and they just look at it. They just want to make sure it's a sealed bottle and that there's no shenanigans and you're not putting whiskey in there.
You'd be surprised what people do.
Yeah, they'll go to a big extent to do that kind of thing. But if you're going on Carnival, you can get a 12-pack of water in the room for like what, $2 or $3 bucks?
Just go online to the Bon Voyage, it's like the shops online, and you can order it and have pre-purchased it to have in your room when you get there. And it's only like $3.99 now for a 12-pack. They've made it pretty inexpensive since they don't allow you to bring it on anymore. Yeah. So that's nice.
They're not totally trying to rake you over the coals with that deal. They just don't want people bringing it so they sneak their booze in there.
I kind of like it better because we used to pack that water on with us, and now it's really nice just not having to pack all that stuff on with you.
That was a real pain carrying that through the airport and all that kind of stuff.
But like I said, you can take a 12-pack of any kind of soda on per person and the wine. And also, it doesn't really say this anywhere, but I think if it's in cans or like I said, those cartons, usually like if you have special little juices or like formulas or different things for your kids
energy drink, maybe
you can bring that up. We do bring some energy drinks like Red Bulls and Monsters. Sometimes we'll bring usually maybe not a lot.
Maybe a Rockstar.
We'll bring like maybe 6 on sometimes with us usually, and we never get questioned or taken away. We always put them in our carry-on, and we never have a problem.
Yeah.
So, but you're taking your chance with that. It doesn't really list that, but I've never heard of anyone having a problem with that.
There you go.
There you go. So that's what you're allowed as far as your drinks go. Driving to the port. She has another question. Driving to the port of New Orleans, where can you park your car? Okay, first option is the port, but it is $20 a day to park there. So that's your first option. If you don't want to park at the port and spend the $20, there are a couple parking places outside the port. One is called, all
right, I'm gonna give it a shot.
I can't pronounce
It's a place, it's called Machu Picchu. It's a tour company that also has
Like a parking
parking there, and
garage.
you can do cruise parking as well. So they got a lot of things
It's
covered.
like $14 a day there to park. So, and it's like 5 minutes from the port, and they do have a shuttle. They'll take you to the port and pick you up. Also, there's another place called Parking Management Services. It's like a Fulton Place parking garage is where I guess the actual name of it. But you can park there as well. They have covered and uncovered parking. I saw where it was $10 for uncovered and $12 for covered. Although I think the latest, that was I think old. The latest I read on their website is actually $15, and I'm not sure if that's the covered or uncovered.
Inflation gets
So,
every time.
so it's still less than the port, but it's you're gonna pay about that. So anyways,
Yeah.
then they're also, if you're driving and you're looking for a hotel there, there are several hotels. I'm just going to name a few here of hotels that have the park and cruise option if you want to leave your car at the port.
And remember, this is in New Orleans.
This is New
if you're
Orleans.
going out of New Orleans.
The Holiday Inn downtown Superdome has a park and cruise. The Wyndham New Orleans in the French Quarter. You got to go to the French Quarter if you're in New Orleans too.
Yeah.
The
Just don't wear flip flops. But that's another story for another day.
The Holiday Inn West Bank, the Ramada, the Sheraton in New Orleans, Courtyard at Marriott, and Comfort Suites, and Country Inn and Suites. Like I said, and I love Country Inn and Suites, they were good. So those are just some options you can look up, and they all seem fairly reasonably priced, and they do all have a park and cruise as well, so you can leave your car there if you spend the night.
That's some good information for Joy right there.
Yeah.
Joy, I hope that works out for you and that helps you out a little bit.
Okay, now the last question Joy has is, how much are gratuities on Carnival?
And that's not just a Joy, I mean, there's a lot of people that ask the
Yeah.
questions about that, and it's something that I think a lot of people book in their, new cruisers, and they may not really be aware of
I
that.
don't really realize.
That the cruise lines, and it's all cruise
And
lines, will
sometimes
add
people-
gratuities in automatically.
Sometimes people think maybe they just add them in every time you buy something or have a drink, but they do that on top of your drink. When you buy an alcoholic drink, they're going to add on, is it 15% gratuity?
Yeah.
Automatically, even above these tips. So that will get added on to alcohol, but I don't think it gets added on to everything. But the tips are actually going to your wait staff in the dining room, your room steward, and some of the behind the scenes people. So that's what these get, and they have a way they designate a percentage of each one out to these people.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, they'll pull the tips, and it'll go to a lot of different people. So it's not just
and it's
one
up
person.
to you. If someone goes above and beyond and you want to give them a little extra tip, you can give them a little extra tip in cash. If for some reason you feel like you didn't get the service you wanted, you want to take someone's tips away, you can go to guest services and do that.
You
We
can
don't
take
usually
some
do
off
that.
of one
I mean,
and put a little more on the other, and
Yeah.
that's up to you.
I
And
mean,
that's a hot topic that people
Yeah,
go back and forth
I don't
on
really
online.
go there because we don't do that. We know they work really hard, and we just leave their tips.
Yeah,
We give
something
them a
really bad would have to happen for us to go and remove the tips.
We'll
or
give them
something
a little
like
extra if they go above and beyond, but we never take their tips away. But that is an option. So, anyways, so Carnival, the tips right now are $12.95 a day per person, and then if you have a suite, they're $13.95 per person a day. Okay, and when I was looking this up, I decided, well, people are probably wondering this about maybe all the cruise lines. So I went ahead and I have the information for all the different major cruise lines on their tipping.
All right, so let's roll
So-
through that. Oh, and hold on, one real quick thing about the tips is they will add them to your onboard charge account, your sail and sign, whatever the term is for the cruise line that you choose. And I know with Carnival, they don't hit your account until maybe 3-4 days into the cruise. So just beware. You'll be checking your account, you're seeing how much you spent, and all of a sudden for your group of 3, there's an extra $300 on there, and you're like, whoa, what just happened? Hey, those are the gratuities, the automatic gratuities, and if you have any issues, just go to customer service, talk to them, and they'll tell you what to do about it.
And also, if you don't want to worry about them while you're on your cruise, now you do have the option on just about every cruise line to prepay them. Like you can do it when you pay off your cruise, you can do it after your cruise, before you sail. So just keep that in mind if you want to just kind of prepay them and not worry about it. That's another option.
There you go.
Okay.
All right. So what are you gonna do? It looks like you got some. Hold
I
on. You got your information hanging right there. Once you grab that piece of paper
Okay, I
and
have
read off of it.
some information here,
Outstanding.
and I have. Okay, we already went over Carnival.
Mm-hmm.
So Norwegian Cruise Line. Let's compare what these tippings are. It's kind of
All right.
interesting.
Let's roll.
Okay, Norwegian. The price per day for tipping is $13.99 a day per person per day. If you're in a suite on Norwegian Cruise Line, it is $16.99 a day per person.
Hold on, I got a quick question. And this includes kids too,
Yes.
right? It might be like 2 and under, and
Well,
maybe
no,
no charge.
some of them have different stipulations. Carnival 2 and under, there are no tips added, no gratuities added if they're 2 and under. Each cruise line has different age limits, but that's Carnival's 2 and under.
Okay.
So the ones I know, I will let you know what the age is. Okay, and also on Norwegian, if you're on the Norwegian Sky and beverage package, I guess that must be a special thing they do on Norwegian Sky. I haven't been on Norwegian Sky, so I don't know. Anyways, your tips are $18.99 a day per person, and if you're in a suite on that, they're $21.99 a day per person.
Wow.
So,
Pretty high.
yeah.
All right, next, what do we got? MSC is going to be next?
So, yeah, let's go ahead. MSC. After reading about MSC, I was kind of thinking I might want to try them out. Okay, their tips are only $12 a day for adults. Kids above 3 are $6 a day per person. So if you're under 3, they're free. But above 3, they're only $6 a day per person. So that's kind of nice. And also, just another little tip I found out about MSC as doing my research. Kids 12 and under, they say sail free. That's just the norm on that cruise line, I guess. It's not really a promotion.
Well,
so,
look into that before
I'm
you
going to look into that a little
booking your
more
cruise.
because if that's true, we are going to be booking an MSC before next January because our son will turn 13 and I want to take advantage of that.
Maybe.
So,
Maybe. All right,
so
let's roll
us
through
go
these.
now.
There's a couple more, so let's set them
Okay,
up.
Royal Caribbean. Okay, $12.95 a day per person, and a suites are $15.95 a day per person.
All right, Celebrity.
Celebrity is $13.50 per person a day. The concierge or the Aqua class cruisers, I guess that's more the elite cruisers, probably when you've been cruising a while with them.
Maybe.
It's $14 a day per person, and the suites are $17 a day per person.
All right, what else you got next?
So we have
Princess.
Princess for the interiors, ocean view, and balconies. Regular balconies is $13.50 a day per person. The mini suites and club class is $14.50 a day per person, and the suites are $15.50 a day per person. Now we have Holland America is $13.50 a day per person, and the suites are $15 per person a day. All right. Now Costa Cruises, $11 per person a day, and they're kind of different. They do a lot of European cruises and things, so that's what the norm is. But then it's also world cruises, and their some of their other cruising. They do it in euros, not in dollars. So, like their world cruise, it's €7 per person a day. And if you're under 4, it's free. And ages 4 to 14, you get 50% off the adult gratuity.
And if anyone knows how many euros and earn a dollar or vice versa, you can leave that in the comments.
I meant to look that up. Oh well.
That's okay. All right, what else you got?
And then Conyard is $11.50 per day, or per person.
I'm gonna just throw this out there.
And-
Cunard, I think, is what you meant to say.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. Because now I've never sailed on them before. They're maybe a little out of my league. I don't know.
Yeah, that's way too fancy. We can't even pronounce the name. That's how fancy that cruise line is.
And then the grill class is $13.50 a day per person.
And
well,
Disney.
we stick with the fun ships that for kids. We have a son, and so we have to go. Okay, last but not least is Disney. Okay, Disney was a little misleading to me. I have never cruised Disney, only because, well, a couple reasons. We don't cruise Disney.
Oh, there's one reason.
Our main reason we do not cruise Disney, well, two. The price is it's higher priced. But the main reason is they do not have a casino on any
Yeah,
of their ships.
thank you.
And somebody here
And
loves
that's a big
the
part of my
casino.
cruise. I love the
Yep.
casino. It's
So,
one of a few vices I can just get out of my system
so
in a week's time.
if we want Disney, we have to go to the land-based Disney. So that's what we do. So anyways, their pricing was kind of odd. It was like, they had it listed as $4 a day per person goes to the dining staff. It had $3 going to the assistant servers and $1 going to the head server, and then $4 a day per person going to your room steward.
So 4, 5,
So-
6, 7, 8, 9,
so
10,
it's
11.
kind
So
of-
about $12
yeah,
a day.
Yeah, so they kind of had it listed as in a strange way, and then
Had it
also
broken down.
Also 15% gratuity on, your drinks, which is the same as the others. But, so it was just broken down a little bit. So it's right in the ballpark of the others. It's not overly high for their gratuities. But that's it. So there's all the gratuities
So
listed.
there's the deal. And remember, gratuities automatically included. When you get a drink, it's $5, and then it'll charge you,
Another
the extra
15%.
15%.
Right.
So it'll be $5.75. Will be on there. I'm not sure if that's exactly 15%. I'm throwing that number out there, but so that's automatically included. But I will tell you that if you want a lot of attention, or if you meet a bartender that's awesome, or maybe you're hoping for a little stiffer drink, throw $1 or $2 out there. It couldn't hurt.
Yeah.
It can only help.
Yeah, you'll be amazed at how far just like $1 or $2 goes.
Yeah.
With some of these people.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're
Yes,
so.
they'll be appreciative.
Anyways, so if you have any further questions, just leave them in the comments and we will address them, and I will answer them under the comments, but
Yeah.
I will also address them in our next vlog, and maybe more in depth. We do have our next vlog coming up is, we were gonna do it actually today too, but we figured it'd be a little too lengthy. We are comparing all the different dining options on all the cruise lines for you, what's included and what's not. So it's going to be a lot of
That'll be next
information. So that'll be the next one, and then we're going to also after that compare all the cruise lines and their drink packages.
So that's coming up around the corner.
Yeah. So we're doing a lot of work on that, and
we're 90 days or so away from our October 8th
our Breeze cruise.
Carnival
Yep.
Breeze,
So if
and that'll
there's
be our next
anything you want to know
vlog.
about the Breeze, or pictures you want, or video, or anything,
Yeah.
let us know ahead of time, and we'll be sure to get it for you too.
And our last vlog
You want
was
fun time,
filled with our
coffees, or
family and our
anything.
friends, and so that was one totally type of video. And this one, just the 3 of us.
Yeah.
So we'll be devoting a lot of time to videos to share with you guys out
And we
there.
may have a couple little interview and little things up our sleeve that
Maybe
we
if we
might
get lucky.
have in the works. So, anyways, and if you have any questions that you do not want to post in the comments, you want to privately send them and get a private answer,
Yep.
you can email me anytime at shargal39@gmail.com. That's shargal39@gmail.com. I will list that in the comments below as well. Also, otherwise, post your comments and
Yep.
keep watching.
You can
share.
leave messages on SharonAtSea.com. You can go to
Yep.
Sharon at Sea Facebook page,
Also,
and of course YouTube.
if you're more of kind of a reader than a person that likes to watch videos, SharonAtSea.com is my blog where I do post the videos, but I also post a lot of written reviews. I post, just reviews, hotel stays, all kinds of things like that. I just did a thing on travel insurance, an article on travel insurance. So there's all kinds of things on there to look at as well.
And if you need help booking a cruise, call this chick. She'll definitely get you hooked up. And hey, she said herself, she leaves her cell phone on. You can text message her any time you want.
Yeah.
So I would challenge her and
Yeah.
see if she'll actually answer in the middle of the night.
My regular job my other job is I'm a nurse, so I do work at night 3 nights a week. So sometimes that's why I post my
She
things
will
like
respond at 1 a.m.
I'm awake.
Don't be surprised. So
So, anyways,
there you have it.
so we will see you in a couple weeks again with some more information. And until then, happy cruising and cheers.
Cheers. See ya.